What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. On today's video, we are talking about the 8 essential design elements you need to focus on if you're looking to create a unique, one-of-a-kind website that is going to feature high-end design value. And I'm very excited about this video because I really do believe that whether you're a marketer who's in-house and your team is considering building a new website, or you're an entrepreneur who runs your own business and you're very focused on how can you convey the premium brand experience that you provide to your clients, this video is going to outline exactly how you can ensure that is reflected on your company's most important digital marketing asset, and that is going to be your website. By following all the advice I outlined in this video today, you're going to be able to essentially have a checklist that you can go down the list and check off to ensure that your company's new website is going to look unbelievably different from the competition, is going to convey a premium brand experience, allowing you to charge higher prices and generate more leads and establish your authority within the local industry. Trust me, if you follow the advice outlined in this video, it's going to be near impossible for you to end up with a boring looking website if you're considering a new build. And then also, it's going to be completely differentiated from the competition online. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely stick around for the full video. Timestamps below if you want to skip everything. But before we get into that, let's take care of the housekeeping real quick. So if you're new here, my name is Bailey Cannon. I'm an independent marketing strategist based in Colorado, working primarily with professional service-based businesses to help them increase the amount of traffic coming to their website, generating more leads, and then ultimately taking those leads and nurturing and converting them into paying clients. So if you're interested in branding, web design, or digital marketing, then definitely subscribe to my channel because I'm putting out at least one video per week all about that. I'm also coming out with some case studies very soon. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. Let's start off by talking about fonts and typography. Now, when I'm working with clients at the start of a new website build in that design phase, I always tell them that fonts are a way that we can add a lot of extra design value in a very subtle way. And so this is really good if you're looking for a very modern or minimalist, clean type of website where you don't want a lot of clutter, but you still want to convey a premium brand experience online. Investing in really well-designed typography is really going to allow your business to stand out in a very subtle way that people might not notice on first glance, but as they take a closer look, they're certainly going to notice. So my advice here is to avoid just having generic Google fonts that you see on a wide variety of websites, because honestly, that is not doing anything for your brand online. Now, outside of just the design value, they're also very important for ensuring readability and allowing the copy to be front and center, because like I've said before on this channel, design is what's going to draw people into the website and get them engaged in the first place, but it's ultimately the copy that's going to get them to convert. So that's why we really want to invest in well-designed font, because it's going to play a pivotal role in the effectiveness of your company's website. Now, when it comes to fonts, there's literally thousands of fonts you could choose from, but there are several tried and true classic fonts that have been around for, decades. Some of my favorite fonts are going to be fonts such as Futura. That's basically what I use on a lot of different client websites because it's very versatile and it just looks so good, especially if you're going for larger type. Helvetica is also something I've used a lot as well. And then if you're looking for a more serif type font, then I highly recommend Garamond, which is one of my favorites. I'll leave you with this. When it comes to building a new website, fonts is going to be one of the first things you want to pick out. And I would recommend picking out something that is very classic and timeless. Honestly, that's all you really need to do. You don't need to reinvent the wheel here. I would literally just Google top 20 most classic web design fonts. You'll find a list. And from that, I would pick one of those examples. Don't feel like you need to reinvent the wheel on this one. There's tons of designers out there that are world famous who said they literally only use 5 different fonts ever in their design. You just pick a classic font and you'll be good to go, but make sure it's unique. The second thing we're talking about here is going to be the colors or the entire color scheme of your company's website. Now, obviously this needs to match your brand colors. The way I would approach this is, number one, you want to pick a primary color. So that's going to be something bold. I also recommend consulting the color psychology chart or table. For example, oftentimes in business, whether we're talking about like a tech business or a, brick and mortar lawyer in the local area, oftentimes blue is used in business because it conveys professionalism, trust, safety, neutrality, etc. So blue is oftentimes why you see that used so often in businesses. However, a color like green represents wellness or health or tranquility. So maybe, for example, if you own a yoga studio, that could be something that works well for that. And then, for example, a color like red often signifies like passion or aggressiveness or excitement or fun. So maybe if you're opening up like a tennis club in the area, that could be something you want to lean into because it's going to be fun. So I would look to pick a main color that is a little bit bold and provocative because ultimately we're here to make a statement. So I would pick the primary color that is very bold, and makes a splash and captures people's attention right away. Now, after you've picked a primary color, I would then look to pick a secondary color. This secondary color is going to be something that contrasts very well with that primary color. I recommend looking at the Adobe color wheel based on the primary color you choose. Based on different kind of options, like different types of color scheme examples you're going for, it will give you an example of what could be some other good secondary colors as well. So something like blue, for example, a good accent color or secondary color for that would be something like orange, which is very bright as well, but it's on the opposite side of the color wheel. Finally, I would then look to pick a tertiary color, so the third most prominent color there, and this would be something that's a little bit more neutral and provides balance to the overall color scheme. So I would recommend a subtle gray, or maybe even a lighter shade of the primary or secondary color that can be used to balance things out. When it comes to colors as well, don't be afraid to experiment with gradients as well. This can be especially good if you can't choose between what color you want, but also gradient is very in, and it's been in for a very long time. Like a timeless design example, you could go with linear gradients or radial, whatever, but if you're looking to add a little bit more of a unique color scheme to your website, then definitely think about a gradient color scheme, because that gives you a lot of flexibility and really will help you establish a unique identity online. Now, the next thing I recommend paying some attention to is going to be textures. Textures add a lot more depth and visual interest to your website's design and really conveys a high-end brand experience that is often sometimes you're not going to see on standard issue Squarespace templates and things of that nature. Because to have textures really requires a designer to be involved. They need to be done in a very tasteful and non-overwhelming way, or your website's going to be looking very much like it was the late 90s or early 2000s, where it had that very much morphic or new morphic type design. So the key here is not to overdo it. For example, if I look at one of the projects I recently completed for a structural engineering firm in San Diego, instead of having gray backgrounds, we had a subtle concrete background based on the structural engineering theme we were going for. Another website I literally just completed this week is for a local boutique custom furniture studio here in Boulder, and we implemented granite textures, which the client really liked, and just adds a much more premium design feel. In certain areas of the website, we also integrated a wood texture. Textures are a super great way to add a lot more visual interest and appeal, and ultimately ensure that your website has a much higher design value. So if you've already got solid colors and fonts and even some textures, the next thing you can do to really kick things up a notch is going to be adding unique animations, interactions, effects, and other hover type effects that are just going to add a lot more design value to your website, and also just make things much more engaging and really convey that high-end brand experience. Now, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to have things flashing all over the place, because that will be a little bit, dramatic for people and might even turn people off. Again, with all these things I'm talking about, you could easily overdo it. So the main idea here is to keep things tasteful and purposeful and on brand. Going back to the custom furniture business example I just shared with you, we also added some really cool text animations as well using a custom JavaScript library that I integrated with Webflow. I really like this because, one, we chose already a very unique font, but two, to have it animated in just places more importance to it and really just makes it much more premium feeling in my view. There's also a lot of room to implement animations and effects that are just automatically moving on the website. This is what I did recently for a nonprofit example here. I just think this is just an easy way to just add a lot more extra design value to the website. Just makes things much more engaging and visually interesting. And I think when people load up websites like this and they see stuff like this, even if they don't work in marketing and they don't really understand how websites work, they know your company means business online, and you're going to automatically establish a lot more credibility and expertise immediately because of design elements like this. Another awesome design element I'm a really big fan of is the horizontal scroll. One of my clients is an architecture studio in San Diego, and we literally dedicated an entire page with the horizontal scroll to illustrate their process, because the process is linear. So it made sense to actually implement the horizontal scroll the entire way through on an entire page. And I also recommend including hover effects. So things like when people click on CTA buttons or they hover over different cards and more information can pop up, or just so that they know it's clickable. It's better for user experience. And again, it goes a long way towards adding premium high-end design. All right, real quick, if you're getting a lot of value out of this video and you would like to pick my brain on your company's current website, then definitely feel free to book a free strategy call with me. There's a link in the description where you can learn more about that. Long story short, I will take the time to learn more about your company's marketing and sales goals and objectives. And then based on everything you tell me, I will help you outline a website and digital marketing game plan, because again, the website is just one part of a much larger digital marketing strategy. And based on everything you tell me, I will outline a custom marketing game plan to help your company achieve its marketing and sales goals. If we're a good fit to work together, we can talk about what that would look like. If we're not a good fit to work together, I would be more than happy to connect you with someone in my network who is better suited for you. So what do you have to lose? Link in the description if you want to learn more. And with that out of the way, let's get back to today's video. The next thing we're talking about is video B-roll. This is great because if you can have video on your website, that is just going to add so much extra design value. And I think it really brings the whole site to life, especially if you're following some of the other design ideas I'm laying out in this video. By having the video B-roll, it just makes the website so much more dynamic and so much more creative. Several of my clients, instead of just having like photos and sections where you probably expect there to be a photo, we either take existing video assets that they've had a professional videographer shoot, or they just shot literal B-roll off their iPhone, and then I've helped them edit it up together to where now we have these video B-roll shots on the website. So they're essentially like background videos on different sections of the website, but I just think they are so much more engaging and so much more interesting than just having regular standard photography. And this is especially important if you are in a design heavy field. So a lot of the companies currently in my portfolio are architecture firms, engineering firms, construction companies, you name it. And they're selling high-end designs to their clients, and the video just goes so much further in helping them do that. Next thing we're talking about here is going to be mega menus. So I'm sure you've seen this on websites before, but as your website grows, I'd highly recommend that instead of getting the navigation super cluttered with too many options, a lot of UX research seems to indicate that once there's more than 7 options or 7 nav items on a website menu, it just gets very overwhelming for people and they don't know what to do, and it's paralysis by analysis. There's so many options that could potentially go down. They end up going down no on the options because it's just too overwhelming. This was an issue I ran into with one of my clients a while back where we were adding course pages to the company's site. This is a rock climbing company here in Boulder. And instead of just listing it out in a boring list, what we instead did was design really cool visual mega menus so that people can, one, visually navigate to the course offering they're most interested in, but 2, before they do that, they also have a little tagline as well, showing them a little bit of info about what the course is like. So this way, they actually know what they're navigating towards, and they don't have a bunch of options where they don't even know where they're going. So mega menus are great. It's something I'm looking to implement with all my clients going forward, where we have a really large website, just because in Webflow, one, they're super easy to design. You have complete design freedom to put whatever you want in that menu. I just think, again, it offers a much better user experience because this way people are going to stay on site a lot longer and engage with your content because they're actually able to navigate to what they're interested to. And honestly, at the end of the day, the longer you've got people on your website, the more likely you are to eventually be able to generate a lead from that visitor session. Another thing I'm going to recommend you invest in your website to have that high-end design value you're after is going to be custom icons. There are also icon packs you can buy. I think that's a good option as well, as long as you can edit the original SVG files to make some basic edits and also just change the colors to match your brand. But if we really want to take things to the next level, I really recommend either hiring a illustrator or a graphic designer who can build out custom icons, because this just goes a long way as well to add subtle extra design value to your website. But there's also tools now that are coming on the scene like Recraft, which is a generative AI tool to build out custom icons. Recraft is super cool. I've started using this on this YouTube channel for thumbnails, and I'm going to be using it for some new upcoming client website builds as well here. It allows you to create icons super quickly in a variety of different art styles based on what it gives you. And once you have it in a style you like, you can then create new prompts to create new icons that all share a similar design language. So if you've used Midjourney in the past, it can produce good results, but it breaks down as of this moment when we're talking about building out visually consistent assets. Recraft is super cool. If you want to learn more about that, as well as some of the other AI marketing tools I'm using in my business and for clients as well, then definitely check out a video I recently put out on that, because it'll cover my top 5 AI marketing tools. I think if you're in the marketing industry or you're an entrepreneur, there's definitely one of those tools there that's probably going to revolutionize your business. So highly recommend checking that video out as well. Last but certainly not least, we're going to be talking now about high quality images. So again, like I've said before, a lot of my clients as of this moment are in the design space. So interior designers, architects, structural engineers, all that type of stuff. And in those industries, the design that my clients offer their clients is a huge selling point, obviously. So that's why a lot of these businesses are willing to invest in the design of their website in the first place, because they understand the importance of that. But when it comes to that, I think it really pays to invest in photography for your business. So whether that's you actually producing a product, whether it's like a brand new custom remodeled home or even like a CPG product, it is worth getting a professional photographer out there to photograph and edit the photos and then ultimately deliver those photos to you. If we have bad photography, there's really no AI tool or image upscaler or anything that anyone could do editing wise to take a bad photo and make it look awesome. Now, you really need to invest in high-end photography, especially if you're in one of those industries. And even if you are not, so maybe you're like an accounting firm or you're a law firm or even like a marketing agency, in that case, I still think it's worth getting a photographer in your place of business and then having them shoot the office space, having them shoot people in meetings, like as they're going about their day-to-day in the office, because I think, again, that high-end photography will just add so much more design value to the website. So to wrap this up, high-end photography, absolutely non-negotiable if you're looking to create engaging, beautiful websites. Whether you're an entrepreneur or a marketing director who's looking to hire a freelancer or agency to build a new website for your company, or you're a fellow designer and you're looking to take your web designs to the next level, I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. And like I said, you could literally use this video as a checklist. If you were to implement all 8 things I talked about in this video, you would end up with a pretty killer design for your new website. So that's it for me in this one. If you liked it, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, because like I said, I'm putting out at least 1 video per week. And honestly, it seems like people are actually liking them. So that's cool. Follow me on LinkedIn as well if you want to connect even further with me. That's it for the self-promotion at the end of this video. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. If you did, share it with your friends, share it with your network. Maybe they'll get some value out of it too. Until next time, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. Bye.